It turns out that the boat that I thought was indestructible was actually completely full of holes. And it has been an absolute battle to repair this thing. Last week, I was convinced that I was in way over my head. So this week, it's time to tackle things head on. And it looks like we're gonna be replacing most of the hull. So let's get to work.
I just caught myself standing here, mindlessly sort of scrolling on my phone and checking my emails and checking my Instagrams and checking all my things. And I realized that the reason I was doing it is because I didn't want to have to go lay underneath this boat and get filthy. Good morning and welcome back to the boat. The floor was right here. I'm feeling a little nervous because it's actually worse than I expected it to be in here. Like, these are so deep. They're not just in the middle, they go all the way up. This is gonna be so much work. Let's get in it. Do as I say, not as I do. Next up is this part here. I was almost tempted to not cut it out because I can kind of fit through this portal opening, and because it is taller, there is more space, but I'm gonna hate myself if I don't get that out of there. It's just way too tight. So I've decided I'm just gonna cut the middle of this floor out, which should give me enough room to easily be able to get in there and do all the work I need. I kind of want a center aisleway right here between the rows of seats that we're gonna have. Hopefully it'll mean less redoing of the floor in the future.
My blade just got bound up and I lost 3 carbide teeth on it. Just bad for 2 reasons. Now my blade's ruined, and now if I try to use a new blade on that same cut, those carbide teeth are still stuck in that cut, and I'm gonna wreck the second blade. I swapped the new blade onto this saw this morning. I'm now using a 40-tooth decking saw blade for doing composite decking. Basically, this blade I have on there now has a really thin kerf. This blade is almost, maybe not quite twice as wide. This was the special blade that said it was 4 aluminum, the thick one, and it took a lot of power from the saw to get it through, so the saw kept bogging down. Where this really thin composite decking blade has no problem. It's so thin. But you can see that the tooth on both of these is very radial, like perpendicular to the cutting surface, where a wood cutting blade is more of a scoop. The aluminum cutting blade is more of a scrape, if that makes sense. So this composite decking one has the correct rake angle for cutting aluminum on a much thinner blade, and it's half the price. So I think that's gonna be my new go-to for cutting aluminum. But enough talk, Riley, let's get the floor out. Oddly, I'm having a lot of fun on this project now. It's like I've kind of gotten over the fact that this boat may never float again, and I've got a ton of work to do, and oh my gosh, what happened to all this corrosion, and now I'm just working, and it's fun. Doing something I haven't done before, learning new things, using new tools. That wasn't the cross member. I got an old rotten hose. I was like, why do I smell burning rubber? That is so funny.
So I've seen this plastic tank down in there when I've looked through those sort of portal openings, but what I haven't known is if this plastic tank would actually fit through the opening. But we're gonna find out if it comes out.
Oh, this thing's full of water. Ugh. Oh, it's the handle. Look at this thing. It's the handle off the ball valve. Super rusted. Probably partially responsible for the electrolysis that happened in here. My curiosity needs to know, would this have fit through this opening? Look at this, barely fits. Okay, last step before it's time to wash it is that we need some drain holes in this thing. I don't really want to be putting all of this dirty water out the little tiny drain hole and out all of the work we just did out there. So we know for a fact that we're gonna be cutting this area out. I mean, just look at it. I can't believe how bad this is in here. So I'm just gonna plasma cut 2 big holes in it, and then we start washing. The next step is to use a weed sprayer
and just spray the entire area down. And this Star Bright aluminum cleaner, again, not sponsored, it just worked so well back here to get all of that like layer of disgustingness off, which then makes it a lot easier to clean up for welding, and then pressure wash it all off again. I honestly can't believe how much cleaner that aluminum cleaner is able to get this aluminum. I didn't bother doing a whole bunch of it right in the middle because I know no matter what, we're cutting the middle out. It's way worse in here than it was back there. But yet again, I'm out of time today. It's Friday. That's gonna have to be a project for Monday. Good morning. The boat had a chance to dry out over the weekend. I've got a fresh cup of coffee. Time to get to work. Wow, it really does look a lot cleaner. It's pretty crazy what that aluminum cleaner does. I think the corrosion is actually worse here. It's different. Some of this pitting is insane. Like this has to be almost all the way through. There are probably fewer individual pits. Like in the back there were just tons of little tiny ones. There's still hundreds of them, but they're different. Less frequent, larger corrosion problems. Probably because there was less dirt in here. So back there in an area where like lots of dirt and gas and chemicals, like all of that probably played a role in the corrosion back there. But I'm gonna guess that up here had water that just sat forever with electrolysis, just like eating away this metal in certain spots. Or it could have been straight current like in the marina. Like look at the way that the screw that was right here had eaten away this aluminum from galvanic corrosion from dissimilar metals. Check out this one I just found right here. This is the keel, this is the bottom of the boat, and all the way up here. This thing looks massive. That has to be almost all the way through. I'm gonna take the die grinder to it and find out. We're not there yet. There's still more over here. I might have another pair of calipers. I need to know how deep that is. Dial indicator, it's not gonna be the most accurate thing I've ever done, but it'll get us a pretty good idea of how deep this is. Nah, it's not gonna work. Oh God, you see that spot right there? This corrosion right here went all the way through the boat. That is wild, and there's more. I wasn't planning on replacing this spot. This is more than 30 inches off the keel. I think I'm gonna have to order more metal. That spot went through too. All the way through. Ay, what else goes all the way through? Because there are more that are even further up. How deep is this one? The good news is I don't think that one went all the way through. Okay, so these ones up here, it looks like I can fix with the TIG welder. I could just hit those with a spot weld. There's no, unlike in the back where there was just eroded metal everywhere. Strangely, it is very solid everywhere else except right there. Kind of looks like something was dripping. Whoa! I just tripped and fell. We just need to keep investigating and see what we're dealing with. So I'm gonna keep grinding these out. I'm gonna see if there's any other ones that go all the way through. Is that even worth my time? What if I went lopsided? What if I went like 26 and 34? What would that get me? That would get me in a spot that's really hard to work in. Could I go 36 and 22? Nope, I don't like it down there either. Just gonna keep investigating and then work on making a plan from there. Hey, Dad.
Hey, you ready? Hey, are you at your shop?
I am.
I'm going to pop in for a minute, just say hi and see how it looks.
Sounds good. See you in a minute.
Sounds good? Okay.
Yeah, bye. My dad's gonna swing by and take a look at the project. I wonder what he's gonna think of this project. There was a time when I was in high school, but I didn't have a driver's license yet, so I must have been 14 or 15. My dad left for a work trip. Went out of town for I think like 4 days. While he was gone, I took our Jeep and I took the entire thing apart. I took the body off, engine out, axles out, suspension scattered across the front yard. And when he got home, he's like, what are we doing? I'm like, oh, we're rebuilding the Jeep. That story always just cracks me up. He had no idea. I think I told my mom, like, hey Mom, do you think Dad's gonna be surprised when he gets home? He was surprised. I also think before I do more investigating on this hole, I should probably change my favorite Ambition Strikes Yeti sweatshirt before I ruin it. Come on in.
That is a quiet door.
All right, back to it. I keep just looking down here at it because the more I look, the more I see. I just need to keep systematically working my way through and identifying the non-repairable spots, and that's gonna define where we cut.
It's surprisingly thick there. I wonder if there's a patch welded on from the outside right there. I'm gonna grind all the way through so I can find this spot on the outside, and then we'll grind the paint away and see what it looks like right there. Wow, it looks shockingly okay from this side. I mean, it's a very minor pitting, but these ones aren't extreme at all. I'm approaching all of the pitting from the inside where it's the most obvious and the worst, but what if there's a spot on the outside that I can't see that's also just as bad? I think that's encouraging. What's going on right here? Something looks fishy right there. I think it's the drip, the paint drip. Those two original leaks I found first, here's them. I'm here, I might as well, right? This area doesn't look so great. Okay, the hardest part is getting started. I made a plan and now it's time to execute. So right now, a whole bunch of the weight of the boat is sitting right here. And I need to get the weight of the boat off those blocks so I can cut away around it. I think potentially I just have to do this in 2 stages. If I pick the boat up from the keel right here, there we go, okay, it's lifting up. And then I set it on this jack stand. If I drop the trailer in the front, theoretically now the front of the boat is gonna rest on the keel on that jack stand, like anything on the other side. No, thank you for going to the post office. Courtney's been working so hard to get all the orders and all the merch fulfilled. Like, thank you guys so much for ordering from the website, ordering coffee, ordering shirts, ordering hats. Like, I think Courtney's feeling really fulfilled right now. You know, she edits late at night for us and she works so hard, but lately she hasn't been on the project as much because she's been working so much to take care of baby Dean. And being able to do the merch fulfillment, the coffee, the shirts, like, that gives her something that she can do to participate in. So thank you guys for ordering. Front of the boat on that jack stand. Whoa. That went down a lot faster than I thought it was going to. That seemed like it worked. All right, don't flip the boat. It's really the only rule. Oh, that's way better. Now the boat feels solid. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Now we have room to work. Gosh, am I gonna have to get this trailer out of here? I don't wanna have to get this trailer out of here, but it definitely feels in the way right now. Maybe I can somehow just slide the trailer back. That would probably work. Hello. So, I just noticed a problem. Starting about here forward, this boat's actually a compound curve. It's curving this way, and it's also curving this way. It's like, I don't know, Pringle chip would be the best way I could describe it, where it's got curves in 2 dimensions. And I'm not convinced that I know how to make aluminum do that. Like, and that has me really apprehensive to cut it free. But also,
there's a hole in my boat!
But also there's really bad corrosion in here and I need to cut all this out and replace it. So I think I just have to go for it. I guess even if it looks terrible, as long as I make it waterproof, it's gonna be under the water.
I think I'm gonna head.
Is my head bleeding?
Where? Oh my gosh, Riley. No, it's not that deep.
Thank you.
It's long. Like it's a long cut, but
It's just a flesh wound. I stood up into an open drawer on my toolbox and hit this corner right here. It's not even sharp. Okay, here we go.
This is one of the hardest things I've ever done when it comes to using power tools. Like something about holding that saw overhead like that. If you could imagine ripping a sheet of plywood overhead where the sawdust is razor sharp needles, that's what this is like. Battery overheated. I think my blade is getting dull. I should probably go change it, but I also don't want to wreck another one. It's time for a new blade. Nothing like aluminum chips stuck in your battle wounds. It is unbelievably better. It's one of those jobs that just like in the moment it feels absolutely terrible, but it really doesn't take that long, like maybe 2 hours to do that side. So in the grand scheme of life, like what is doing something terrible for 2 hours? And now it's done. And I only have one more piece that big to cut out. So I'm 75-ish% of the way through cutting out the bottom of this boat. Next up, plasma.
All right, here we go. Ready for plasma cutting. I feel like I'm like suited up for battle right now. The jacket, the helmet, the gloves. I'm also a little nervous. I don't really know what to expect because this plate steel under here has to be under tension. Like the only way they can make that compound curve is, well, if at some point it was forced to do it. And I don't know if it's still under tension or after 40 years, if somehow it has a memory and that tension's been relieved. Only one way to find out, I guess. You told me even the day that we bought this boat that, hey Riley, there's gonna be some day in your future where you're gonna be cutting out the entire bottom of an aluminum boat and rebuilding it. I would have thought, there's no way, I don't know how to do that. But here I am. This is the area where there's that compound curve. I don't really know if you can see it on camera, but it curves up in 2 dimensions. I noticed the ribs are also curved. You must have had like a form or a jig or a template, and they must have bent the ribs too. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to reproduce that bend, and it makes me wish that I just hadn't cut basically those 2 ribs out. So on the other side, I'm probably not going to cut those ones. It's too late on this side. But for the life of me, I cannot figure out how they made the boat this shape. Like, the only way to do that would be to stretch it. I don't think they heated it, and I don't think they had a giant press machine that could like stamp it into that shape. And all of the other aluminum boats that I've looked at, like production ones that are currently in production, everything is 1-dimensional bends, and then they use multiple pieces to kind of imitate that 3-dimensional compound shape. How is this boat a compound shape? All right, at this point, I think I'm just procrastinating. Matt's calling me. I don't know why Matt's calling me.
It's insane.
So I'm talking to Matt Spears on the phone right now. If you don't know who Matt Spears is, look him up on YouTube. He does the most interesting off-the-wall projects. He just built this electric bicycle into a rail car so he could go explore abandoned railroads.
Because I want you to come out here with me, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I'm calling about.
What do you guys think? Should I go explore abandoned railroads with Matt? I think so. Don't tell Courtney that I'm borrowing her pink earbuds. Quick, get my earmuffs on before she sees. The next step is gonna be to clean up all these welds, clean up all the slag from the plasma cutter, grind everything back to clean, and get ready for the new metal. And we're just gonna cross our fingers and hope for the best and hope that somehow I can figure out a way to bend this, force it, to beat it into submission. The paint is so thick on the bottom of this thing that it literally makes sawdust when I grind it off. That somebody was trying to seal some holes with some paint. My arms are so sore from holding that grinder overhead and trying to clean up this edge. I need to get that paint off because I can't weld there if there's paint there. And I still think this is the best tool for the job, but man, my arms are sore. I just hope that I actually am able to solve the problem once and for all, and I hope I'm not missing anything, right? There's part of me that feels like I should be doing the entire bottom. But if you look here, that metal is very sound. Like the rest of what is up here looks to be in really good shape. So the thing we don't know is what's happening right here on the outside. And there are a lot of pits. I just don't know. This is one of those projects where I'm constantly second guessing myself. And it's so much work. If you had told me this is what I was getting into when I bought this boat, there's no way I would have bought it. There's no way. But at this point, we're just trying to make some lemonade. Hole saw in these corners, so basically we're gonna have like a cut, and that's gonna give us a nice round radius edge right there. Because if that were a sharp edge where we welded this new plate in, there'd be a stress riser right in that corner that potentially could cause a crack to wanna radiate outward, especially with this strong spot here. You'd have like this strong spot and then this sharp corner, and I could easily see a crack going from that corner out to here, depending on what kind of stresses
this metal is underneath. So by putting this round corner in here, theoretically that round corner is going to alleviate that stress riser and make it far less likely to crack. It does definitely add a little complication to what I'm doing though, and make this a little harder. By holding the drill at an angle like this, I'm able to cut with the hole saw just on the outer corner, so you can see that I've only cut all the way through on the outside. And that's gonna mean that that little cutout piece stays behind, and when I use my new piece as a template, those nice round corners are still gonna be there for my template. That's how I did it on the transom, and it worked out really well, so theoretically it'll work out really well here too. I'm glad that I cut this out. So many of these look so deep in this area, which is right near where the two I found that definitely went all the way through, the huge ones. Do any of those align with some of the pits on the back side? I don't know. And now we clean it all up. Next up on this project is to try to get all these ribs replaced again. And the thing I'm most worried about right now is that I could tell that the end of the ribs were curved. And I don't know if that was done ahead of time, like in a press, or if they just kind of force them into place around those main horizontals. So we're about to find out. My plan is to try to kind of just snake them into place. I have no idea if this is gonna work or not. In theory, if I put this up into here, oh dude, that's gonna work. It's gonna bend it. Nice. Basically, I've got it wedged on the other end, and then as I pick it up, it's just kind of forcing it into place. Oh, whoa, it's like way too short. I promise I measured. Half an inch too short. How did I do that? I didn't even cut twice. The number of times that I've climbed in and out of this boat today is getting out of hand. This should be 108 1/4. Did I measure on the wrong side? Oh, wait, that's what I meant, 140 1/4. I need to make this thing 140 3/4.
It's gonna work, and it's even got the right curve to it, so it's awesome.
I was hoping to get all three of those tacked in before I went home today, but between measuring wrong and cutting wrong and fitting wrong, I don't think that's gonna happen. Oliver just called me and he said, "Daddy, do you wanna go get some pizza at the pizza place with Oliver?" And I think when your 3-year-old calls and asks if you want to go to dinner with him, the answer is always
Oh my
yes.
gosh, it is an unbelievably beautiful day here in North Idaho. I think they might call this Fool's Spring. It's when it feels like spring has sprung and it's time to start getting started on summer projects, but winter's not actually over yet. But what a day to be down at the barge on the lake. This has me so excited for spending the summer out here on the barge with Courtney and the kids. And the absolute best partner that we found in making these spur-of-the-moment dinners possible is HelloFresh. So we'd like to thank HelloFresh for not only sponsoring and supporting this channel and all our crazy projects, but also for feeding us dinner today. Today, we're gonna be cooking sweet chili pork bowls. There's no meal planning, no grocery runs. Everything just shows up at the door pre-portioned and ready to cook. Wherever we might be, whether that's at our off-grid house, here at the barge, on a camping trip. Something I love about HelloFresh is that it's taught me new, easy cooking techniques. So like right now I'm about to candy some peanuts that are gonna be a topping for this dish. I've never candied peanuts before, but apparently if we add 2 tablespoons of water, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and just some like regular salted peanuts, we're gonna end up with a delicious candied peanut topping. For us, HelloFresh is sort of like having great tools in the shop. Anything we can do that saves time and reduces friction means that we can focus on building cool things and spending more time with our family. Use our code AMBITIONFM at the link below for 10 free meals plus free shipping. 26 minutes from when we cut the first vegetable. No grocery shopping, no meal prep, no planning. That's 10 free meals and free shipping using the code AMBITIONFM at the link below.
Good morning. Well, actually it's the afternoon. I woke up this morning with a cold and I was feeling pretty crummy, and I slept in and hung around the house a little bit. And then I got that bug that I wanted to come get some work done on this project. Like, Courtney, I have this mantra on a project like this that you have to accomplish something every single day to keep the project moving. And that thing that you accomplish can be really small. It can be as simple as researching something or ordering something. I could either lay around the house today feeling sorry for myself, or I could come down here and get some work done on the boat. But my goal for the day is try to get all these stiffeners into place, tacked in, and then hopefully cut this plate and see if we can get this plate fit up into here. I'm definitely gonna be moving slow. I'm sorry in advance for my voice.
I wonder if this shows up on the camera. Like, this one's now tacked in at these first two ribs and it has a perfect curve. Like, I'm actually shocked that I was able to get that curve.
So the basics here are that I have 2 clamps holding this new piece in line with the old piece. And down at the other end of the new piece, I don't know if you can see from here, I have the new piece just sort of hanging at the angle it needs to be at so that it's lined up right here. Once I get all of this welded up, then when I pull that into place back there, whoop, the whole thing kind of bends and it just sort of seems to naturally go to the right shape. At least it did on the last one. This one's gonna be more extreme and then this one's gonna be the most extreme. So hopefully my method works and I don't have to change methods and like figure out how to bend these things, but it seems like they just sort of naturally want to go into the right shape. Okay.
Just be safe.
Okay. See you at home, Courtney. Thank you for taking care of the kids.
The kids are sick today too. Courtney, when you're watching this later, huge shout out for being such a great mom, taking care of everyone, including me, even when we're sick, putting up with me when I'm grumpy. Thank you.
So now as we tighten this up, you're gonna see that this curve is gonna start to appear. Okay, the only downside to this is I can't actually see what I'm doing. We got it. Now you can see we've got that curve in it now. I think I just keep talking about it over and over again because I can't really believe this is working. The number of times I've climbed up that ladder, into the bottom of the boat, back out of the bottom of the boat, back down that ladder, up the ladder, into the bottom of the boat, it's insane. That's definitely the most challenging one to line up, but also the most satisfying one. This is an example of a problem that I built up way more in my mind. When I cut this apart and I realized that how curved the ribs were and how curved this hole actually was, I built this up as like almost an unsolvable problem. It's like, man, there's no way I'm gonna be able to get this back together how it was, but I'm feeling great. I'm feeling confident in this solution. The only other hiccup is gonna be if I can get the actual hole metal to conform to that same shape, or if we're gonna have more problems when that comes. I'm basically just gonna keep working my way down, get these stiffeners tacked all the way in, and then it's gonna be time to use our template to cut out our hole metal. Trace out the piece we cut out to make our new piece. I think what I'm most excited for about this right now is it means that we're finally gonna be able to get this sheet of aluminum and this pallet out of here, and I'm finally gonna have this, what is 6 times 12 is, and I'm finally gonna have this 72 square feet of the shop vac. Why did I just say shop vac? I'm going to have 72 square feet of the shop vac. I also just realized that the camper that Courtney and I lived in for a year and a half was smaller than this sheet of aluminum. I had a lot of questions when I was doing the transom and stuff in the comments, like, but Riley, you didn't account for the thickness of the saw blade. Well, I did. I used my Sharpie line, I went right along the edge, and then I cut to the outside of my Sharpie line. So the Sharpie line effectively was the width of the saw blade, and then by cutting on the outside of my Sharpie line, that added the thickness of the saw blade back to all sides. This piece is actually curved like this, which makes it hard to trace accurately because, you know, it just relies on my lining up the Sharpie well. So what I'm gonna do is put some little wood blocks under this side and lift this side up. Now we trace. Nothing like just going for it and cutting into a $1,000 sheet of metal. All right, guys, well, excuse me, it's getting hard to talk. My throat hurts so bad. I don't feel that terrible, I just can't talk. What was I gonna say? I don't know, my brain's a little foggy too. That's all I have time for today. It's time to go eat dinner with the family. But overall, I got way more done today than I expected. I was gonna be happy if I just gotten one of those ribs lined up and tacked in. I got all 3 ribs tacked in, welded where they needed to be welded. Good morning. It's become my new normal morning routine. Filthy clothes, a fresh cup of our full send coffee, and a boat that needs a lot of work. Oh, that's good coffee. This is still my favorite one, guys. The full send. It's a 100% Costa Rica single origin coffee, and it is so good. All right, so we are either like 2 hours away from having this patch done or 2 days away. And it all depends on how well it fits. Fingers crossed for an easy fit. All right, so because this one curves, I can't really do it like the other side because I'm gonna have to tack as I go to try to force that curve into it. We're just not gonna know if it fits until it's in. So I've got some clamps in along the keel, and now I'm going to attempt to lift with my back while I hyperextend my knees. Okay, I think I just need to lift up one side now. We're close. Now it needs to slide back a hair. Oh, are we there? We might be there. Okay, there we are. That's gonna fit. Just say it's just gonna fall into place. Might be a little optimistic here, but that back corner's in place. And it looks like the whole piece is just gonna kinda shimmy up in there as we work it. Fingers crossed. Ow. Forgot how much I hate welding overhead. Kinda smells like Burger King in here. I wonder if that's me burning. Ow. I think I know now why I wasn't tacking overhead. Woohoo! Everyone celebrate with me because it fits. Does not fit right here. I think we'll bang that in with a hammer. Where's the hammer? Do you guys know where I left the hammer? Darn it, not quite in the right spot. I need to cut those tacks out and just kind of rotate the sheet just the slightest amount. But I still think it's gonna fit. I don't think I have to pull it out and cut it. There it goes. Aha, it fits now. And we're tacked. I think I said this morning that I didn't know if we were 2 days or 2 hours away from having this piece in, and I'm feeling like it might be closer to 2 hours than 2 days. The rear is now tacked in, but back there it's fairly flat. It only has a very minimal curve to it. So now we've got the front, where we've got a lot more curve, and I'm just not really sure what the best way to get after this from here is. I'm gonna start by trying to use the C-clamp to suck this in tight right here. So we're supported on that side, and if I can suck it in tight here, then I'm gonna have to go inside the boat and tack along the rib. Get you guys closer so you can see what we're doing here. All right, we're lined up. And the only way that it can be lined up here and held in that clamp there is if it's curved. So let's take a look. I don't think we're gonna be able to tell from the camera, but we just formed that aluminum plate into a curve. It worked. Woo!
Okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
What was that?
It was just my clamp popping off. I was just sitting here looking at it thinking, and my clamp went bam. That was crazy. At this point, it's a whole bunch of climb up into the boat, make one tack weld, climb out of the boat, readjust my jacks and my clamps, climb up into the boat, make another tack weld, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. So I made that fatal mistake that I kept talking about, and I got ahead of myself, and I built a wrinkle into it right here. So I ended up having to dismantle all my clamping. So now I'm gonna just have to keep working myself from the back towards the front and try to make sure everything's aligned as I go, so I push that wrinkle out. I'm feeling confident that it's gonna work. I'm not even saying any words right now. You know when you just get so like focused on what you're doing that you stop talking? Oh no, I ran out of jack. But I did just realize I need to push this out before I go any further so we can push this up and that out. Okay, now. Whew. Was that a tack breaking? What was that? There's just tension. Ah! It's in. The thing I was so stressed out about getting that to line up, but it just lined up. I got the aluminum to make that curve. I better hurry up and go tack it in. Moment of truth. Time to let it down. Wow. Probably one of the most satisfying things I've ever done fabricating. Okay, all that's left then is to finish pushing this up all the way along the keel. I'm gonna work my way backwards now. So I've got it sort of contained on this edge and this edge. And now we're just gonna work backwards, and any wrinkle that's in it, we're gonna push back into the far corner over there. So if I just go along each major rib, and then this piece is gonna be done. Little preheat on this keel because the keel is much thicker, it's 1/2 inch thick. And so to get enough penetration on the welds, I found that adding a little heat before I start makes a huge difference. I got that plate well tacked in now, not just like mostly tacked in, but I feel confident now that it's tacked in and that everything's structural again. So all those cross members are now welded in, the plate is tacked in, it's kind of all acting as one. And I'm feeling confident that the boat is back together enough because we need to take this boat off the jacks, set it back on the trailer, and pulled out of here because we have another project to bring in that I'm not sure what order the videos are gonna post, so I don't know if you guys already know about this project or if it's a surprise, and I'm excited. I'm looking forward to a change of pace. So it's not the end of this video, it's just sort of a pause transition into the next scene that's probably gonna be a few weeks from now. Transition! So I actually moved this boat out. It's been out of here for about a week and a half while we worked on another project here in the shop.
Really, it's here?
It's here. It looks good. Don't you think?
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Now it's back and it's time to get back to work, and I'm sort of in that mode right now where I'm trying to remember what I was doing and where I was at. I think it's time to start cutting. So the next step is basically the same that we did on the other side. We're gonna be cutting out this entire strip on this side of the keel down the middle. Yeah, I'm hoping by the end of the week, we're gonna be basically done with putting more metal in the bottom of the hole, which is exciting. It's exciting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It is time to do some serious origami? No, that's not it. Trapeze? What's it called when you like contort yourself into a small space? Oh, contortionist moves. To make it worse, it's wet under here. It snowed on the boat while we had it outside last week, and then when I pulled it in, all that snow melted, and now it's wet. My glasses keep fogging up. I can't hold the saw. I'm ready to be done cutting underneath this boat. Wet butt covered in razor sharp aluminum chips. And a lot of times with projects like this, it really is all about the mindset, and if you can figure out a way to make it fun, well then it's fun. This is the hardest cut of the whole thing. It's one right along the keel here because I'm having to cut through 2 welds. There's a weld on the bottom and a weld on the top and the plate. So it's like 3/4 to an inch thick that I have to cut along the entire keel. So in this piece, it's 12 feet of cutting. Can't blink. I got something in my eye. I cannot blink my eye. Yeah, let's just see what's going on. Oh yeah, it's right there. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Right there, on my eye. There it is, on my finger now. Woo! Back to work. The PPE on this project it's such a challenge. Like, obviously I don't want stuff in my eyes where those safety glasses go, but I also can't have safety gear that's so restrictive that it makes my work less safe. I don't want to lose my fingers, and if I can't see what I'm doing, then that's also unsafe. And so then I'm like, well, I should be wearing a face shield, but I would need to wear a face shield and safety glasses. It's impossible. What is safe? Something that you do might make you safer in one area while making you more dangerous in another. All right, we're cut all the way around. I think it's time to get the plasma out. I feel like this welding helmet that Miller hooked me up with, this tool, this helmet, makes doing this so much more comfortable than it would be otherwise. I can't really describe what it feels like to have this cooled air just like pumped into this helmet all the time. Thanks, Miller, appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Thanks for believing in this project. Thanks for believing in this channel. The goal here is to only cut the hole stiffener and not the rib. And so it's like, I have to be really careful with how I use the plasma cutter and the angle I do it at.
My welding hood started alarming at me that there's something wrong with the air quality. And at first I was annoyed because I wanted to just keep working. Then I looked up and I realized that I forgot to open the shop door and it's completely filled with smoke in here. I shouldn't need a helmet to have to tell me to open the shop door, but this is what happens when I just get so focused on what I'm doing. Yet again, my helmet saves the day. In other updates, Courtney's headed home with Dean and the truck is still broken. The fender is back ordered. It's been back ordered for a month. And the ETA right now is NA, not available. There is no ETA for when that fender is going to be back in stock and when I can get my truck fixed. Ah, it's free. Yeah, so the next step now is to just start grinding all these welds off and prepping all this for the new plate. Okay, I'm done. Calling it. My arms are too tired. It's definitely the most I've gotten done in one day though, so. And then just when I feel like I'm comfortable and I'm good at this, it's gonna be time to move on to the next step. That's how these projects seem to go. Okay, tomorrow is today, so welcome back and good morning. I spent about, an hour and a half this morning or so, and I got the rest of this prepped. I got all the old paint ground off all the way around. I got the last little rib right here all cleaned up, which means that we are ready to start cutting and installing our hole stiffeners. It's gonna be basically the same as the other side. I just hope it goes together as smooth as it did over there. Feels good to be on this step of the project, I tell you what. Woohoo! I think that means it's time to cut. Now we get to find out if it fits. I never thought about trying ratchet straps underneath. And just like that, another day is gone. So there you go. That one took me 2 full days start to finish. So this was definitely the fastest one I've done so far. It's time to go. So I'm gonna clean up and head home and we'll see you not tomorrow. It's gonna be, I think, 3 or 4 days before I can work on this boat again. So we'll see you in 3 or 4 days. Do you ever have one of those days where you just feel like turning up the music and getting down to work? You don't want to talk to anybody. That was my day yesterday. I don't even think I even turned the camera on yesterday, but I cut both sides of the very front of the bow out. So this is it. This is the end of the cutting of the metal out. And from here on out, we're just rebuilding. It's very exciting to be at the end of a step and also very terrifying to be moving on. There's a lot more curve to these 2 pieces than any of the rest of this boat. So I'm just hoping that it's as compliant as this back piece. Let's find out. Okay, moment of truth. Hey, there we go. I think that's gonna fit. Now how do we get it in there? I think it's gonna be a lot harder than it looks. Now we're cooking. This is gonna be an adventure. Oh yeah. Haha, it's working. I honestly can't believe that we got that all lined up. I think I need to start back here and work forward. Woo, I just cracked that weld. That is not a very good weld. I didn't think that was gonna hold. Can't get to it with the right angle. It looks ugly, but I think it'll hold for a minute. Nope. There's a lot of tension in this right now. Dang. Oh, maybe I just need to weld them from the other side. That's what I'll do. This welder has been the key to actually having success at doing all of this. Thanks, Miller. All right, check it out. Check it out. That's the last of the new metal going in. All the way through. All the way back. All the way back. All the way back here. 144 square feet of 1/4-inch aluminum plate and 150 linear feet of 2x2 aluminum angle. And we are finally done replacing all of the corrosion in the bottom of this boat. A project that I honestly thought was impossible when we started. It just kind of goes to show when you do things one step at a time, one day at a time,
how much progress you can really make on a project like this. So that's it for this video. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next one where we officially start the rebuild process on the rest of this boat.
All right, guys, we have the official winners of our sweepstakes giveaway, the trip to the barge to come hang out with us, the airfare, the rental car, the hotel stay, and all of it. We're so excited to meet one of you. Okay, here we go. Are you gonna FaceTime him? Yeah, is this Ross?
Yes.
Dude, Ross, do you wanna come hang out with us on the barge?
Please tell me you're kidding.
No, I mean, do you want me to be kidding?
No, it actually sounds like you guys.
Ross, thank you so much for supporting this giveaway, and thank you everyone else on here who supported this giveaway. And
it's completely wild. We've talked about already doing another giveaway, so let us know down in the comments below what you guys think we should give away next.
thank you guys so much for supporting this channel and for supporting this dream and just coming along for the ride with us.